Meeting to order.
John,
I call meeting to, yeah.
it isn't 7 o'clock.
Oh,
It's only 2 minutes before.
I made it.
Start early and quit early.
Seems later though with the time change.
hey, Mary, you're retiring from basketball coaching, huh?
Oh, there
I
she is.
am.
And that was quite a neat write-up. You've got a lot of experience
A little bit. Thank
all
you.
over the country.
Yeah. It was a great career when I did it both times.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
All right, we got 1 more minute, Ron.
Ah,
If my watch is right, it's pretty good. It says 8 o'clock now because I don't know how to set it back.
there you go.
All right, we'll start the meeting. I'll call a meeting to order, and it is now 1 minute before 7. Okay, roll call. There are no alternates, so we don't have to worry about that. Any additions or changes in the order of the agenda?
Nope.
On there. Okay. Oh, there was one extra page that you put in, I think, Mary Kay.
There was one extra letter. Yeah.
I hope everybody read that. Audience of citizens, and we have Tom, and Kim. Okay. They're here to talk about the conditions. Okay, so item number 6 is the approval of the meeting minutes for October 6, 2025. Do I have a motion to accept them?
I'll make a motion to accept.
I'll second it.
All in favor, raise your hand.
Aye.
So moved. Okay, those were October 6th, right? Okay, and then we had the sidewalk minutes of October 14th, 2025. Do I hear a motion to approve those?
I'll
Make that
also,
motion.
okay, I'll,
Second. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
I'm abstaining. My apologies. I missed it.
Okay. All right, so under new business, we got a discussion and act upon the 2026 IWWC meeting schedule. Did everybody get a chance to look at that? I got it made
Yes.
a copy. It looked pretty good. I think everything is okay with
Yeah,
that.
looks good.
Okay, very good. So,
Basically, it's the same Monday, same as last year, right? And then the changes for Labor Day and so forth, yeah. Yep.
we need a approval of that. Can somebody make a motion to approve those?
Motion to approve.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Number 8, open public hearing on IWWC 2526-14, the application of the town of Columbia to replace the existing culvert with a new precast box culvert on Pine Street over Giffords Brook. And we did take a look at that on our site walk. You want to give us just a little background, and then maybe Kim can give us more information.
Yeah, I'll probably pass it off to Kim here in a minute because she will have more answers to your questions. But there's an existing 2 kind of tunnel culvert. I don't know the technical term for it. That culvert's going to be replaced by a precast box culvert, approximately 25 feet long and 7 feet high. And the idea is that Pine Street's been flooding, and so we need something new there that's been undersized, and there's been scouring on the edges, and just signs of wear and tear. And the town is able to replace 2 culverts at this time. So this is the first of those applications. And I'll let Kim go into it a little further. She has more details on the specs and everything, and I think she's ready to answer any questions you all have.
Thanks, Savannah. Am I able to share my screen? I have a few slides to show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Let me know when you see my screen.
Got it.
I can see it.
Got it.
Thank you.
Not yet. Oh, there it goes.
Okay. Okay, so I'm just gonna go through the existing conditions and then the proposed conditions, and then also talk about our wetland impacts. If anybody has any questions, just let me know. If you want it to be more of like an open conversation, I'm fine with that. Or if you prefer for me to finish and then field questions, that's good too, whatever the committee prefers.
Can I interrupt 1 minute?
Sure.
It's Mark Walter. Actually, we weren't aware that it was a Zoom only, so there's people outside the conference room trying to get in town hall. I'm hoping Stephen Everett's going to open the door.
I can come up. I'm downstairs, Mark.
Oh, that'd be great, Mary Kay. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, Mary Kay.
Hey, Mark.
Hello.
I was just wandering around outside the town hall trying to get in.
And where are you, Kim?
I live in Coventry, so it's not that far away. So I was like, I'm gonna go zoom it up.
So you're back home?
I'm back home, yeah.
Oh,
I'm
dear.
sorry. We didn't
Oh.
realize inland wetlands was Zoom only. So this is something I wasn't paying attention to. So it's probably my fault for telling everybody to go to town hall.
That's okay.
Mark, I thought you were on vacation.
I'm back.
Where'd you
Back
go?
for
For
this,
this
huh?
meeting?
Well, no, it was actually, I was down for a wedding in Alabama and got to see the Huntsville Rocket Museum and Center of all the
Cool.
engineering assets to NASA. It was amazing.
Sounds really cool.
It was.
Searching for a new CEO, should you want one? Who? Wanted the US Space Rocket Center. We just put a proposal to do that. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, they make like $1.5 million. That was the role, the CEO at that. The US Space Rocket Center, that's where Space Camp is. It's cool.
That's right. Space Camp
Hey,
is.
one moment, guys. I just have to log them on upstairs.
Thanks, Mary Kay.
Thought we were muted.
Oops, what's going on here?
In place now?
I don't think
John,
quite yet.
Mary Kay ran upstairs to open up the conference room and let people that were outside in.
Mark,
Hi, Stephen.
Here, let me look at
Hey, Mark,
Hold
I
on.
don't think it's your fault totally. It says on the website that we meet in the conference room.
I know, it said that. That's why I saw a conference room,
Yeah.
told everybody to go there.
all right, we're getting it set up, okay?
Great, thanks, Stephen.
Wait a few.
I'll make sure that gets fixed.
Okay, great.
And we turn on the TV?
Yeah.
Okay. Or maybe they're on Zoom.
That's not on the sign.
It's like, it's on Zoom.
Okay.
And it's done.
All right,
Because I went last night and looked to see if the meeting was still going, but I didn't see anything that said Zoom. And of course, the time you guys posted, it says Town Hall, November 4th.
it's the third.
Third, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but if it's one place it says one thing, another place other thing, customer's always right.
And Stephen, Mary Kay will be right back up to let everybody in.
Is this
As
her
the
right
host.
here, sitting here?
Okay, so pretty much we're the only ones really affected by the Thompson Hill, because it's in our backyard.
There were a number of abutters.
Right, everyone agrees with that.
Okay, now all we need is Mary Kay.
I unlocked it, so. It's unlocked. I unlocked it. The other doors over there, did you relock them or?
Okay, is everybody here?
Everybody's here now? Ah,
Hold
all
on.
right, here she is, okay.
It's gonna
Oh,
feed me.
Kim,
Hold on, let me turn it off.
continue,
I'm sorry, did you say start again?
yeah, continue.
Okay.
You haven't started.
Oh, she's got.
My name's Kim Fletcher. I'm a senior senior managing engineer at Barton and LaJudas. Like I said, we were previously Anchor Engineering, which people may know a little bit more. We were bought by Barton and LaJudas 4.5 years ago. And we are the consultants for the design of Pine Street. We were also the consultants that went for the state local bridge program application for this and Thompson Hill. So I'm just going to go through some of the existing conditions. Like Savannah had said, right now it's existing 2 5-foot pipes with CMU head walls. It has a watershed of 2.59 square miles. And the bank full width average of the up and downstream is over 20, close to 21 feet. And it has a history of overtopping during large storm events. Like I said, the project is partially funded by the town of Columbia and then partially funded by the state local bridge program, which funds 50% of engineering, design, construction, and construction administration. And the plans that you see here vary slightly from the plans that you had in the original packet. We had let the commission know beforehand that we were going to be presenting on slightly revised plans. It does not negatively impact the wetlands. It actually makes the wetland impacts go down, and you'll have final set of plans this week to go along with what's shown in this presentation. Our proposed structure, or let me just tell you what's changed. So from what you've seen previously, the box culvert skew has been reduced slightly, which allowed us to bring in the ends of the culvert that were kind of sticking out a little bit more, and we were using that area to grade off of the roadway. But now we've brought that in closer to the road, so we'll just have 3-tube curb-mounted bridge rail running along the roadway. Additionally, there's going to be 4 new wing walls, and there is currently shown an end wall here, but we are in talks with the gentleman that lives at 31 Pine Street, Mr. Ryan, who's here tonight, about how we can revise that end wall so that way his concerns regarding sightline out of his driveway can be met. Based off of conversations that we had with him, we've shifted the bridge over about 4 feet and to the west and shifted it foot to the north to help with that sight line already. But we're still in talks with them to try to improve that a little bit more for them.
Also, these plans up for us.
So the reason that we had to go with a 25-foot box in this area is Army Corps regulations for a watershed area of 2.59 square miles makes this an intermediate structure, and you need to be able to meet a 1 foot of freeboard for the 100-year flood, which we do. But additionally, you need to ensure that you're meeting the 1.2 times the bank full width. And with the bank full width in this area up and downstream being in excess of 21 feet, that gets you to a 25-foot box. Additionally, these plans have been sent to Deep Fisheries, and we've had consultation back and forth to discuss the project with them. They were the ones that set the inverts of the boxes, and they also set how much fill we would have in the inlet and outlet of the box. We sent them a profile of the actual stream, and they took a look at it, ensuring that we're incorporating any of the scour holes that are present, but also looking at making sure that the continuity of the stream remains intact. And like I said, we have sign off from Deep on that. Let me keep going here. Maybe. There we go. So from a roadway perspective, we're reconstructing approximately 225 feet of roadway. We're following the same horizontal alignment that is currently there. There's a slight change to the vertical alignment, but again, we've dropped it slightly with being in talks with the butters. And so right now we're at a very similar vertical profile that's currently there. There was no need to raise the vertical profile in order to get that 100-year 1 foot of freeboard. That's all taken up in the actual box. We didn't widen the road in this area. It's a existing 24-foot drive travel lane, and we're keeping with that. So we have 2 12-foot lanes. In the area of the driveways, we'll be redoing the aprons, and then at Mr. Ryan's property, we'll also be realigning that driveway so that way it can shift to the east a little bit to again try to help with that sight line. So that's what that gray area is. That's just redoing a portion of the gravel section of the driveway. Well, hold on. Let me just, we'll stay here. So from a water handling and wetland impact standpoint, because we're overspanning the existing structure significantly, we were able to stay out of much of the wetlands. Existing 2 pipes right now. The new box culvert will have native fill within the box. I think it's a minimum of 12 inches. The outlet has 18 inches. We have a permanent impact of 45 square feet and a temporary impact of 290. That temporary impact is from installation of cofferdam and removal of the existing structure. That will all be replaced with native channel bottom material within those stream limits. The same with watercourse, that will all be stream, and then wetlands will be planted. Permanent impacts, it's minor, there's only 45, and that's because we needed some riprap along some of the wing walls just for scour and those sorts of things, protection of those wings. But we were able to limit it because of, again, we're overspanning it so much that we were able to stay out of the wetlands. So this project will be done with a bypass pipe. And that bypass pipe has it has inlet protection, downstream turbidity barriers to ensure that we're protecting that water course during construction. This was also shared with Deep Fisheries and was approved by them. We were able to take the bypass pipe off of the homeowner on the northern side. So we're going to be able to keep that bypass pipe within the town's right of way. But we will be in contact with Mr. Phelan to discuss a temporary easement on the southern side of the project just to put the bypass pipe in. And then that will be removed and his property will be restored to its original condition. A little bit more about the environmental and wetlands is that, like I had mentioned, we are designing this to the 100-year flood with 1 foot of freeboard. We actually have 3.5 feet of freeboard for this structure, which I would say is good given the fact that 100-year floods are not all that far and few between nowadays. So planning for the future, having a little bit more freeboard for your structures is actually a great plan. Additionally, we looked at whether or not opening the structure up is going to cause any additional inundation problems downstream, and the tailwater downstream actually stayed very similar in these areas, so we don't suspect that it's negatively going to impact any of the wetland areas downstream of the project. There are no NDDB species within this area, but there is the tricolored bat, the federal endangered species. It's not technically endangered yet, it's just proposed, but we did do a bat assessment and we found that there was no adverse effects in this area. I think that's all I have. I can talk about schedule if anybody's interested, but from the one slide I have left is we will need to detour the site because it's all going to be done in one construction season. So we'll be notice to proceed in April with final project closeout at the end of October.
So Kim, this is First Selectman Stephen Everett, and I have a question for you.
Okay.
You opened up with Mr. Ryan's concern about his line of sight, and you said that we're looking at, as I'm looking at an overview of the site, the job. You said something about trying to minimize one of the walls closest to his driveway, or something to that effect.
Yeah, here, let me go to the closer one.
I gotta tell you, I went there today, I'm looking at this and I don't know, in Columbia, I don't know anybody who stops 10 feet from the end of their driveway to see the traffic that is approaching left or right before they have to make a decision to gun it out their driveway with the speed that some people drive in town. So I'm a little bit concerned about that. You really do need to explain to me that side of the bridge and the vision that he'll have coming out of his driveway.
Okay. So like I said, we are still talking with Mr. Ryan. We were corresponding back and forth today about how we can resolve this issue. I mean, sightline design is based off of 10 or 15 feet back from the roadway, which is what we were basing it off of. But understanding what you're saying, it's a high speed area and he has concerns with whether or not he can pull out of that driveway. Of course, we're completely open to changing the design however the town and with the input of Mr. Ryan prefer. We were thinking about if there's potential to use a rail in that area instead of an end wall, which may give him more of a sight line. The only thing that we could do is we could move the entire end of that bridge back 4 feet to give him the sight line. I think that was what he was discussing today. We could do that.
But
Yeah, it's almost incumbent upon you to do it. Can I share my screen, Steve, real quick?
Yeah, I'm trying to get, she kind of left me hanging there. Is there a button to that? I thought earlier you said, yeah, you did move it.
We did
Did you
move it.
not move it?
No, we did.
You
We
did?
moved the entire bridge 4 feet to the west, and then we also shifted the bridge up a foot, so that way, and we moved his driveway over a couple feet, so that way we could provide more sight line in that area.
Okay.
I can show you the sight line if I can share the screen. I sent this to Kim earlier. It's clearly unacceptable. in my
I
opinion.
unshared, so I think you can share now.
All right, I will share.
Art, I was in your driveway today and I took some photos myself because, I mean, I take everything seriously, so I want to take a look at it. But they do have, she did say there's a couple of ways they could do the end of that culvert there that would help with your sightline. So honestly, I'd love to see what you're proposing, if you have illustrations of such, or you have examples of it that you can show me. And I'm talking to
I'm
her,
gonna show you
Mark.
I will show you right now. If you're seeing my screen,
Yes.
I see a very busy screen.
so that driver's eye is 10 feet back from, or 15. So Vasco has it, I believe, at 10. Conduct has it at 15. From the bumper of your car to your eye is about 10 feet. The green lines show where I could see. There's a blind zone by that wall and the barrier, and you can't see through a fence on that type of an angle. So the proposed bridge rail, you can't see through it on an angle like that. I'm going to clearly have a huge blind spot.
So I'm gonna have to, I hear what you're telling me, Marsh, I get it. That's why I'm gonna need to see her examples of what she's talking about, that's all.
So, yeah, I mean, and again, I'll show you others. There's ways to, if you moved it back 3-4 feet, probably 4 feet, right to where the existing edge of bridge is, it would create an appropriate sight line and give turning movement.
I understand that, but I'd like to see her examples of what she's talking about to try and eliminate it before we have to put in ungodly amounts of money. And I understand what you're saying, I get it, okay? But I need to look at everything before we move forward on this.
The turning movement, I don't know if you put a turning template on there, Kim, but I'm questioning because I can't come out of my driveway now with you're decreasing the road width by 2 feet at my drive.
No, we shifted it back towards your drive. It's lining up with the roadway that you currently have.
Right now, from the center line of road to the face of the rail is 14 feet. You've decreased it to 12.
Currently, with surveyed data, we have now shifted the entire roadway closer to your driveway, so it should align exactly with where it is currently.
If you put a turning template on there, I still turn into the opposing traffic lane to make it back in.
We can widen your driveway so that way you have your same.
It's a matter, well, shifting it will help, but if you put a turning template on there, the way it is now, you will see that I drive it every day. Decreasing the width there is just, it's not right. It's unusual.
We did not decrease the width there.
So I measured it a couple days ago from the center line of the current road to the face of the guide rail on my side.
They shifted the bridge part. They shifted it 4 feet to the west, which is away from you, and a foot closer. So we'll have to redo that calculation, please.
It's still, Steve, it's still 2 feet narrower. The lane over the bridge is still 2 feet narrower to propose than it is today. I implore you to go out there and measure from the center line to the face of the rail. It's 14 feet.
We are going to go out and measure it, Marsh, because we'll be on this point all night long. We will
Okay, I have
measure.
other points. I'll go through them. I don't mean to steal this bill. When you're ready, ask, and I will talk where I think we should go with it.
Driveway is like
I'll stop sharing.
next to the bridge too.
Any other questions?
I have a bunch if
Yes, would you please, okay, Savannah, why don't you?
Just before we
Yeah.
dig into those points in general, I had two questions. One was if there's a proposed planting plan with plants listed for the wetlands areas.
There is one, and I can send that to you. It'll
Great.
be on the final plan set.
Perfect, awesome. All native, obviously, wetland, okay, great. And then for the bat, was there a survey done for guano, or was it through the Fish and Wildlife tool that it was determined not to
No,
need
we
a
went out
survey?
there and we reviewed it, and then we sent it to the FWS, the local field office for their review, and it
Okay.
was signed off on.
Perfect. Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Kim, this is Ian Dan on the commission. Can you explain the extent of your drainage watershed studies that you conducted?
We used stream stats to determine the watershed in this area, and then we used high 8 models to model the bridge.
So how far downstream did you guys look?
We went. Let me look. Typically, we go at least 50 to 100 feet up and downstream. But I can confirm that for you.
I would say, can you send that report out?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
I have one. I understand that Mr. Ryan made a calculation on the weight of this concrete bridge. And it would take, it's like 100,000 pounds. Is their equipment around that would be able to move that into place without too much of a problem?
So the drawings that Mr. Ryan were looking at showed lines that he calculated weight on was based off of an 8-foot section, but we're going to be using 4-foot wide sections. I've confirmed with United Concrete, and there's not going to be a pick that's more than, I think, 68,000, and they send out double that weight every day on roads and place precast units. So they're not concerned with shipping these units and putting them into place. But he was correct with his calculations based off what he saw on the plans.
Any other questions?
like I said, I have a bunch of points to make, but I don't want to. I'm waiting for everyone else to I suppose finish.
Are these points different from our meeting yesterday?
Some of them, yeah. A lot along the same lines.
Okay.
You want me to proceed or no?
This is not my meeting, I don't know.
John?
you, John.
The public hearing is open, so now would be the time to accept
Yeah.
comments.
Yeah, I would say proceed, right?
Mhm.
Thank you. Yeah, my big concern, and I'll go through several points. I won't take an exorbitant amount of time, but feel strongly this is the wrong structure type. Integral abutments with a precast deck unit superstructure would be less environmentally intrusive and less costly. Integral abutments are short concrete stem sections with no footings and pile supported. Precast deck units would be utilized for the superstructure. The reasoning and differences are that a 5-foot diameter bypass pipe with custom fabricated elbows is proposed right now, requiring a 10-foot wide by 10-foot deep trench, which will require steel sheeting. An expensive and environmentally intrusive installation including clearing of the stream bed, shading trees, and wetlands and watercourse impacts. This would not be needed with an integral abutment bridge. The site lends itself to utilizing the 2 existing 5-foot diameter pipes to handle water with simple sandbag cofferdams, channelizing water through each pipe for water handling while the other half of the channel is excavated and abutments installed and the channel graded to final condition. This would eliminate the bypass piping, substantially decreasing the watercourse and wetland impacts, and substantially reducing the cost of the project. The proposal has a box culvert, requires a 15-foot deep excavation, 7 feet below the groundwater elevation. This depth of excavation would require sheeting with external tied back bracing, which is very difficult to install and very expensive. This would not be needed with an integral abutment bridge. The depth of excavation for the abutments would be 10 feet, and cantilever sheeting without bracing would suffice, or possibly an alternate earth retention system other than sheeting, far less costly. Additionally, the wing walls would not require the large deep spread footings. Integral abutments utilize integral inline wings walls with no footings or pile support. Over 100 cubic yards of gravel to grade the inside of the channel of the box is proposed. With the box culvert placed inside the cellular cofferdam and 6 foot of headroom designed, it will not be possible to place a fill inside the box culvert. Contractors will ask you this question, and I don't think there's an answer. With integral abutment bridge, the channel grading is performed during the stage construction, utilizing the existing pipes as described above prior to placing the superstructure deck units. The travelway, again, is proposed to be decreased from 26 feet wide to 24 feet wide, forcing pedestrians to walk into traffic lane. It also makes the turnout on my drive use the opposing lane for turning, while the construction of the proposed 3.5-foot barrier wall will block the drive sight line a substandard distance. This condition will not be acceptable to me. That's one. Also, decreasing the travelway width of a bridge from existing conditions, it's not good engineering practice. The proposed wall layout being moved closer to the roadway center line requires a wall that will decrease my driveway width temporarily to 10 feet with a 90-degree turn. That's on the recent plan. That'll be impossible for fire trucks, oil, and other delivery trucks to enter or exit. Setting the wall back a few feet would alleviate this condition. The proposed sheeting configuration is not realistic with many bends and jogs, and far more channel disturbance would be realized unless the wing wall configuration is modified. An integral abutment bridge would have inline wings, and this would not be part of it. A temporary earth retaining system was proposed for the south side of this cofferdam. This will not work with 15-foot deep excavation, 7 feet below groundwater. A fully enclosed sheeting cofferdam will be required. Water pressure bleeding through would not be possible to control with dewatering pumps and pose excavation stability issues. The road is also proposed to be raised 9 inches at my drive and graded to create an 11.5% grade, where the existing grade is 6.5 presently. We have trouble getting out of there now. That won't be possible. All these issues are easily rectified with an integral abutment structure, and the construction cost savings would be substantial. I've been designing bridges for 45 years as a professional engineer. A box culvert is simply the wrong structure for this site. This will be the largest box culvert I've ever heard of. I believe probably the largest in the state. And with a 68,000-pound lift at a 40-foot radius, you're talking a mammoth crane. It just doesn't fit the site. That's why box culverts aren't used for this length of span. ConnDOT's preferred structure for this type of span length is integral abutments, and there are standard details for these. We use them on other municipalities' bridges all the time. That's my piece, and I will leave it at that.
I could try to speak to some of those points, but I don't know that I have written down each of them. Thank you for your input. I appreciate it. I have not been doing it for 45 years. I can't say that. I've been doing it for 16. I have installed box culverts this size and larger. We're installing a 36-foot 3-sided frame elsewhere. We've got a bypass pipe for that. There is no issue with it. The sheeting is, we've installed sheeting. I don't agree that the difference in height between the integral abutment and the box culvert would be as substantial as you're saying. Even if it was, we've installed sheeting to 16 feet with interior bracing. Maybe they would make it a little bit wider. That's means and methods that they would figure out in the field. We chose a box culvert because the soils in this area are very poor. Rock was like 55 feet, so we would have to install very long piles that would create a different type of contractor that would be bidding on this job. If we put a box culvert in, you can rent a crane, you can put your box in, which is a very different type of contractor than the type of contractor that installs piles. I work with many different contractors on many different jobs that install boxes or three-sided frames that certainly do not get into the pile realm of things. Additionally, there's less maintenance on a box culvert. You're not dealing with bearings or bridge seats or anything like that. It's a box, it's good to go. I understand there's lots of different ways that you could build this bridge, and certainly an integral abutment is a way that you would do it. It wouldn't resolve the issues at your driveway. It would be the same issue that we have now unless we extended the abutments out 4 feet past the road, which is the same thing that we're talking about with the box culvert. So I don't agree that the change in structure type would fix the driveway issues. I think that regardless of structure type, we just have to work together to try to come up with a plan that makes you happy and makes the town happy, which I'm totally on board to do. That's why I've been corresponding with you back and forth. I'm more than happy to try to, come up with a plan that works for everybody. I don't want you to hate your driveway for the rest of your life. I don't want the town to pay excessively for more structure either, but I know that there's a solution in there somewhere. I don't know. The other point that you made was about cost. I've done cost estimates for both structures. The box culvert comes out cheaper. I know that you say your cost estimate comes out cheaper. Cost estimating is an art as well as a science. And so I don't know if our individual biases are being included in that or not. But I think that you could say they're pretty close in cost, but you're going to have a different type of contractor that's going to bid on this job versus the type of contractor that is going to bid on the one that you're prescribing. Again, I absolutely respect the work that you've done for 45 years. I appreciate your input into this. I hope that I have answered some of, probably not all of your comments, but if there's any that I missed and you want me to try to answer, please just reiterate and I'll do the best that I can.
Well, you say the soils are horrible. Those are great soils. You have compact, dense gravel by your own borings.
No, we had excessive scour concerns in this area. We had a geotech report done.
Tile supported foundations, you wouldn't worry about that. But integral abutments don't utilize bearings. They are a three-sided box when you're done building them. There are no bearings. And the sheeting depth, the difference between 10-foot sheeting and 16-foot sheeting is tremendous. You cannot internally brace this cofferdam because you're trying to put a box in there. So now
we have done that. We have done that.
Well, you can. You have to put whales in, dig trenches and bury dead men and cable it back. That's a very expensive cofferdam. The difference in cofferdam, I hope you put this in your cost estimate, will be probably $100,000. The pipe that you want, the temporary pipe you're going to try to put in, you're digging a 10-foot deep by 10-foot wide trench with sheeting to put a pipe with custom made elbows in there. That's that's over $100,000 in itself. And then how are you going to get the dirt inside the box? How are you going to get the 100 yards of gravel in there?
We put natural channel bottom material in large span boxes all the time.
How? You're inside of a cofferdam with 3 feet of room on the outside. How do you get it in there?
You have more than 7 feet of vertical clearance within the box.
You can't get into the hole. You look at your cofferdam. From the edge of your box to the sheeting is about 2-3 feet. How do you get the dirt down in the hole and push it in?
I don't want to argue. I really truly don't want to argue with you back and forth.
It's not an argument. That's a fact that you won't be able to do. So I'm not arguing it. I know this business, and I'm telling you right now what you got. Contractors that have come in with a tremendously high price. What I propose, you would get away with a lot cheaper. I'd like to see your estimate for those two options.
Okay.
Excuse me. I
Yes,
I don't know. Yeah, I didn't know if you were going to call on somebody else.
Please.
Hey, my name is Deborah Millette. I am new to all of this. I'm certainly listening to Mr. Marsh, and he is our neighbor. It just seems very involved, way over my head as far as my knowledge base. I own 23, 25, and 29 Pine Street. From what I've heard tonight, it doesn't look like my properties would be affected by this. Is that correct?
Sure. I believe that is correct. I don't want to misspeak though.
How far did you extend this notice from the bridge?
I believe it's 500 feet from the location of the bridge.
Which I believe would include all three of my homes.
Did you say you were 30 Pine Street?
No, 23, 25, and 29.
Okay, yes, not within the limits of the project.
Okay, I just, again, wanted to make sure I had no knowledge of this, what was going on. And I appreciate all the comments. I am very sensitive to what Mr. Marsh is going through to try to make this, good for what his property is. So, but that was the only question that I had. Thank you very much.
Any other questions? Shall we call the public hearing to a close, or do we want to reschedule the hearing?
Yeah, so I just want to kind of give you an idea, John. You can continue the public hearing or you can close it. That's, up to the commission to take a vote on that. If you do close it tonight, you can make a decision tonight, or you can also continue that until the next meeting if you don't feel prepared to make a decision. So you have time in both those kind of constraints to do.
Oh, okay. Well, so we just close them for.
Yes.
Okay.
Savannah, it was mentioned that there was revised plans coming out. Is that correct?
Yeah, so the plans, to my understanding, have been revised, but we have not received the final copy, which in case it was approved tonight, I worked into our conditions is, the initiation of work is contingent on the receipt of that, essentially. So we could approve it theoretically tonight if the commission felt they needed to, with that condition included that we need receipt of those final plans as discussed in this public hearing. And then once I review them, if I see anything else majorly different, I can ask them to come back for a modification.
John?
Yes.
Yeah, Tip Garrett here. I think we should keep the public hearing open until we get more information, because there seems to be quite a gap between what some people think and what other people think.
That's true. Okay. So when we get the additional plans, we'll leave it open.
Yeah, maybe they're talking about the hearing for that project and then they'll move on to the next one. Period.
Yes.
And John, I say that as a professional civil engineer also.
Okay. Very good. So we'll keep it open, and until we get the additional plans, Kim will provide that, I hope.
Yes.
And, it won't be until our next meeting date, which is on the first Monday of every month.
We will have. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, I'm just gonna mention one more thing before you make a motion to continue, John. This is, you basically can only have one motion to continue. So after that, our time is up. We have to close the public hearing. but you could still have 65 days after that to make a decision. So I just want to clarify that.
Okay.
That's the same as with the planning and zoning, right?
Yep,
Savannah?
same
Yeah,
timeline.
Same timing.
That's right.
I hear a motion to continue.
I'll make that motion.
Okay. Second?
I'll second it.
No, yeah.
Okay, John. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So moved. Thank you. Okay. So I guess that closes our public hearing for now. We'll continue at a later date.
Appreciate you listening. Thank you. Have a good evening.
You too.
Discussing this is very interesting. Okay, do we have an audience of citizens? Anybody want to say anything?
Oh, John, you do still have another public hearing to open for the second culvert replacement.
Okay. And let's see, we got a couple other things on the agenda, which includes a commission open discussion. One of the things I was wondering about was the
Oh my God.
new requirements for members of the board here.
All right, John, before we move on to that, we do have to, I think the order of operations would be to open that second public hearing for the next culvert replacement.
Item 8.2.
They're two different hearings technically, you know, probably grouping them together in your head because they're both culvert replacements, but we have to open the second public hearing.
Is a motion required, Savannah, to open the public hearing?
Yeah.
Motion.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so
I guess we're open.
So
yeah,
there's a
I will let Kim kind of take this over again. Similar project, different stream. So I'll let Kim speak to him more.
Anything different about that, Kim? Or is it pretty much the same?
It's a little different. If you want, I can try to go through it a little faster if you'd like.
Okay, I would appreciate that.
Okay.
No.
All right. Let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
Thank you.
Perfect.
All right, Thompson Hill Road also has a history of overtopping. This is an existing single 5-foot diameter reinforced concrete pipe, 40 feet long. The town has TRIP funding, which is, I can't remember the name of what that, Transportation Rural Improvement Grant Program. So that pays for construction of this project. The existing watershed here is a little bit smaller. It's less than 1 square mile. It's 0.91. But it does have a bankful width of 15 feet downstream. And again, the Army Corps regulations are very clear that if you have a bankful width, you need to be meeting 1.2 times that, which is why we get to that 18 feet. 18 feet culvert. Also, this needed to be designed for the 50-year flood through Army Corps, and the 100-year flood needed to be checked. So we had significant freeboard for both of those, a little over 4 feet of freeboard for the 100-year event. And again, that's all contained within that culvert. We didn't need to raise the roadway at all to get that freeboard at the low point of the road. This one does not have head walls at the roadway. It's extended to follow the alignment of the brook because that brook was so skewed to the roadway. The most cost-effective way of doing that is to just run the box culvert along with it, and then you grade to those walls. And then we are running a metal beam rail over the top of it because we have enough depth. You need to make sure you have enough depth of fill over your box in order to get that type of traffic handling in, and we could.
Where do you think, so this is in our side yard? That's my, up the top will be my backyard. Yes.
Sorry, is there a comment?
No, I'm sorry, I should have muted over here, and the people here.
It's all good, he was just asking where our property sits.
Oh, okay, the next sheet should help with that. So within this area, we're redoing approximately 200 feet of roadway. And we are matching to the existing conditions at the beginning and end of the project, which is currently a super elevated roadway in that area. And so we're going to be installing that same roadway type in this. I think when you're coming off of Mock Road, that's where it super elevates and then flattens out once you go over the bridge and up the hill. Okay, what else? This also is going to be having a bypass pipe. And so again, we're overspanning the existing project so much that we were able to stay outside of the wetlands quite a bit. And so we don't have substantial wetland impacts here. We have 90 square feet of permanent impacts and 168 of temporary. And those temporary impacts, those will all be restored back to its natural environment after the project is over. Most of it is from removing the existing structure or from installing cofferdam. And then once that cofferdam is removed, it will be reinstalled with wetland plantings or natural stream bed material.
Yeah, Kim?
Yes.
Yeah, Tip Garrett again. I'm jumping back to the other hearing. And since we are the Wetland Commission, and that's our primary goal is to see how wetlands are affected. On the Gifford Brook, I don't recall if you mentioned how the wetlands is affected on that.
In the slideshow, it showed this same slide. It showed the wetland impacts for the temporary and permanent. If you want, I can pull it back up.
No, that's all right. If it wasn't terribly significant compared.
No.
Well, it was about the same as this, right?
Yeah, it was similar. The permanent are about 45 square feet, and then the temporary is like maybe 160 or something, very similar to this one.
Okay, thank you.
So we'll be installing riprap up and downstream along those wings, additionally to protect from scour in along the wing walls in this area. There was no NDDB in this area, just like the last one. This one also did not have any bats. So there was no northern long-eared bat and there was no tricolored bat. The only thing that was present in the area was the butterfly. And we also ran hydraulics to look at what the inundation downstream would look like. And again, it was very similar tailwater. So it looks like water in high flood events was getting downstream. It was just getting downstream over the road. So now that we're opening it, you're going to get similar amount of water to where it was trying to go, but now it's going through the box instead of over the road.
Kim, this is Ian. Did you look at the next culvert downstream? Because that one is actually relatively close.
We did not.
Would that
Ian,
be?
why do you bring that up?
Because if you have a larger culvert, you're obviously passing more water at these larger events. And are we just pushing the problem downstream? Whereas the last culvert that we talked about goes into a ton of wetlands, so it can absorb it. I'm concerned we might be spilling banks later on, causing problems downstream.
if we reduce the span of this one with that in mind, the only thing that would like that would cause issues getting a SV through Army Corps. Because if we weren't able to meet that 1.2 times the bank full width, then we would have to go to a PCN and we can do that, but that process can take up to like a year to go through the separate permitting process to be outside of the best management practices.
Tim, would a reduction in span actually increase the velocity of the water going through? I mean, smaller hole, water goes through faster. Wouldn't that create more scouring downstream?
Yeah, I mean, it could, but I think maybe it was two different questions if I'm hearing it right. One's talking about how fast the flow is, and I believe, Anne, were you saying whether or not we're inundating that
Yeah,
too much?
that's what I'm getting at is the inundation, and I don't know if any of these would necessitate like a V-notch weir kind of in it to at least the smaller storms. We're not passing as much water as fast, and then the larger storms allows those to move through. Like I said, that next culvert downstream is not a huge culvert.
Yeah.
Is that
And
on Mock
it
Road?
does have scouring.
It's on Mock, yeah.
It's on Mock Road. Okay.
Yep.
That's actually bigger. Yeah, that culvert.
It's bigger than the proposed.
It's not really that much bigger. The problem, I don't know if, can I talk now? I don't know.
You said to say your name.
Oh, okay, I'm William Smith. I own the property at 18 Mock Road, which this culvert is pretty much my backyard. So, I kind of know the stream pretty well after 25 years. So my first question is, in regards to the culvert that is being planned to replace.
Thompson Hill.
On Thompson Hill. That culvert in heavy storms also acts as a dam, which the water backs up into the woods. That's on the other side of the road. Even though it doesn't overflow, it's allowed to back up in there, which is restricting the flow on my side.
Right.
So the thing is that now if you go and you put an actual culvert in that's actually bigger than what's there, you're allowing all that water flow to go down through my backyard and down to the next culvert. The next culvert, I can tell you right now, cannot handle that water.
It's in bad shape.
It's the road right now is actually extremely eroded. The town you guys came in, you put trap rock in, the guardrail is actually not even attached to the side bank. It's actually hanging because of the amount of erosion. Now, I'm worried that it's like you let all this water flow through, that it's gonna erode back and it's gonna back up into my backyard. Because it's gonna have no place to go.
Well,
until over the road.
floods. So when we get the heavy rains and it does jam up the culvert at Thompson now, it's like a wet and wild ride on the one that goes under Mock. Now, the neighbors down the street, every time their front yard is flooded over. So that is.
Yeah, if it goes down the road, because considering
think
Mock is such a straight down too, you're gonna be flooding people that's further down the hill.
Because.
It isn't gonna go straight
Right. it doesn't
across the
do it to
road like it
right.
does in Thompson.
Or
This is gonna go right down the hill
Right.
and right into the people that are on the lower level of Mock.
The one
And I'm not
downstream
telling-
is, the one downstream is Mock Road culvert, right? It's like pretty
Yep.
skewed to the road, like it's a pretty
Correct.
severe skew.
Yeah.
Yep,
And it winds up going into the pond. That's
Yes.
behind Center Sports and Discovery Zone. So it goes in there, but then it's got overflow that basically runs down the street side with the houses. And it has flooded the lawns on those people's down farther. And the brook actually comes back from the pond. It comes back under the road because if you look where it meets Egerton, there's water that actually goes under Egerton as well. So that, depending on how heavy the rain is, say we get an inch, literally, it raises that water up probably 6 feet on average. Cause I walk the dogs twice a day, so I see quite a bit of how the actual not the dams, but how the culverts are actually handling the water.
and to get off subject for 1 second, you said that you guys had done a study on the bats.
Yes. There was no
Okay.
bats present through the IPAC, through the
Okay,
camera
there
locations.
are bats, I know there because they roost on the side of my house.
So they're talking about like within the project area, so you do mapping of the actual area, so there could be, I'm sure there is bats around your house, because I don't live far from you and I have bats around mine, so no, I agree with you, but it's more of mapping into the exact area of where your bridge is.
You realize my house is only like about 250, 300 feet from that culvert, right?
I understand. I mean, we could go out there. We've done an inspection of that
Okay,
and we
I'm
can
just saying,
ensure.
I know, I'm just bringing it up because I know that they're there, so.
And
Yeah, but
so
that's not-
the major concern is that we would be doing any work that would be disrupting their habitat.
Yep.
And within this area, we
Which you
shouldn't be
wouldn't.
taking any trees that would be disrupting their habitat. So I
Yep.
think the bats are gonna be safe for this one. If we were having to clear a bunch, then that would be a concern for sure.
We could
Okay.
also talk about time of year for any
Now,
work
are you guys?
to be
now, are
outside
you-
their hibernation period.
Okay, now that you didn't inspect the other culvert, are you guys gonna plan on doing a study on the amount of water that you're gonna allow through the CFM through that new culvert? And will the other culvert handle it?
We have not done that study currently.
Okay.
We could do a inundation map showing the change between the existing and the proposed.
Okay.
I think it would be wise, because that culvert that's below us gets hammered pretty bad.
Yeah.
There's
That-
like
that
a V,
culvert
so
is
it gets like an
undersized.
island.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say the culvert downstream, that Mock Road culvert, that one is most likely undersized as well. So
It is.
as you go through replacing bridges,
Right.
the way the Army Corps works is they want to keep opening them up to allow flow to behave how it naturally would, because many of the bridges that were put in like in the 30s and the 50s, they all restricted
Yeah,
flow.
can't keep up.
Yeah.
It sounds to me like the improvements to the culvert on Thompson Hill Road to increase the hydraulic capacity. It sounds like downstream bridges need to be looked at too, to see how the.
Definitely the one next to us on Mock on the building needs to be.
I think that needs to be looked at.
If you look at the area, calculate the area for the one on Pine Street, you have an area of the two 5-foot diameter pipes of like 39.27 square feet. The proposed culvert is 25 by 7.5 feet, which is 187 square feet. So you have almost 4.774 more area in what you're putting in there now. On the other one, you also have the same type of thing. Right now has 1 foot diameter, one pipe that's a 5-foot diameter, which is 19.635 square feet, and the proposed is 18 by 6, which is 108 square feet. That's 5.5 times more than what's there now. So there's going to be a lot more water going downstream.
The roadway overtops as well, though. So there's been blowout of the side road a couple times because the water, it does dam up, but then it actually overtops the road.
But it's only done that twice in 25 years.
Right.
That
I've been here 5 years and it's happened 3 times. And we've had.
Thompson Hill? Twice, it's only
Twice. We actually.
It's only, I know, because I've lived there 25, it's only tossed across the road twice.
Twice.
And then where it's actually eroded and it eroded the
And
whole.
took the whole guardrail.
So here's the situation, we have a grant to help us replace Thompson
Right.
Hill.
Right.
We have nothing for the lower Mock.
Right.
In my opinion,
Thompson obviously is more
lower mock should have been looked at.
Okay.
And that should have been done before Thompson Hill, because all you're doing is you're solving one problem, but creating a
See,
whole other.
proverbial kick the flood down.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Kick the rock down the road.
You're kicking the rock down the road, yep.
But this is,
I mean, I get Thompson Hill is definitely more used. I mean, it's everybody's cut through.
yeah,
I
but
know
a
that.
concern is a concern is a concern, okay? So,
But I mean, that's one thing you do in regards to you saying you're kicking the rock down the road too, is you didn't realize that on Mock Road, that culvert, our neighbor's driveway is like literally
Oh,
up
it's on
against that culvert.
Right. That's
They're
all.
the two houses next to me. And if that overflows, it's gonna take their whole driveways out. I mean, like I said, this isn't
Well,
just
they won't be able to
overflowing
get.
straight over the road. Everything is downhill at that point.
Right.
And it's just gonna head downhill.
Now, Savannah, do you know if the town engineering department is reviewing the hydraulic capacity of the structures downstream of Thompson Hill Road on Clark Brook?
Well, I
think it
know
sounds
Beth
like
is-
that has to be done.
Beth is on the call. She's in the conference room now. She can speak more to what DPW is looking at with that culvert. I don't know, Beth, do you want to speak to that? I know there was some look at kind of helping with the riprap situation there, but I'm not sure if there's a long-term solution at this moment.
We
Sounds like
have
that
to
could be
know if
accomplished.
the design calculations would affect that downstream culvert. If that wasn't looked at, we should look at that. But that's not one, on our 5-year plan that we were looking to replace at this point. That might change, but we were looking at the two other structures, the one on Lower Mock and Egerton, are in poor condition.
those are not the ones you're talking about?
The lower
They're
Mock,
further.
you did replace the one on Lower Mock quite a few years. I mean,
Egerton.
no, it's on Lower Mock.
We did some repairs, but it is.
Yeah, yeah.
It's scour and it's.
Right.
in
They did
poor
the one on
condition.
Egerton because they did put new guardrails on. By where, one lives.
Well,
But even.
that would be my only, that would be my personally only concern, would be just the flow.
So it sounds like we have a request for some sort of flow study, I think, to summarize for the commission to consider that.
Which that would be at 16 Mock technically. That's where that culvert is at 16 Mock.
We're talking about this one, right? Directly
Correct.
downstream.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kim, I would,
Yes.
this is Ian, I would propose your inundation
Yeah.
study needs to go from Thompson Hill all the way to the pond.
Yeah.
66.
Correct, correct.
Kim, how long would that take to do that study?
Couple weeks. We would have to go out there and get more hydraulic cross sections. So survey would have to come out and do that, and then we'd have to run the model. So probably a month.
Kim, what would that month delay do? Because we're on a time constraint with both of these large grants for Pine and Thompson Hill. And to get these bids out, our goal was to get them out in November so that we could construct in the spring. What would a 1 month delay do to that?
I mean, if we put it out to bid in January, you're still fine for an April construction. So you would just,
Okay.
instead of it
All right.
going out to bid in November or December, you'd probably be at the
Yeah.
beginning of the year. So you skip Christmas.
Okay.
So I have a question. If we do the study and we're good till do the Thompson Hill in April or whatever, what happens if the study says exactly that? We're pushing more water through pipes that are gonna force more force to, and overrun the culverts that they're talking about. Well, I guess my question is, we're looking at this, and if the study is as bad as they say, how do we go ahead with Thompson Hill and pray there's no rain?
Good point.
I mean,
Is
we
it-
could,
Oh, I'm sorry, Kim. I didn't mean
No,
to
go ahead.
interrupt.
No, you go
I-
ahead.
I was just gonna ask if the size that we're proposing, is that the minimum for the Army Corps standard you were talking about, or could it be potentially smaller and still fit Army Corps criteria?
We could meet with Army Corps and discuss our concerns. I've tried to submit SVs that are less than the 1.2 times the bank full width, and it's generally a no-go. And so in this area with the bank full width that you have, 18 is the minimum.
Okay, gotcha.
And Stephen, I'm fine to start engineering this second mock road culvert right away. And then look for another grant down the road. But these grants take years to achieve. And we know each culvert going down has to be replaced. We're undersized town-wide. But it's
Absolutely, I understand, and we talk about that, and, okay, but we need to get moving, we need to figure out what's gonna happen on the next culvert, and, I guess we'll hope that what we do on Thompson Hill, at the grant that we got, cause we gotta move on that, or is there a chance we lose the grant this?
well,
if
you
we
have a
postpone
deadline
this?
to achieve the grant, and we're already a year behind. So
Okay.
it's not easy.
Is it too late to pull out of the election for a re-election next year?
Oh,
We won't hold it against you.
At least it's gotta have some humor, right? So, okay.
The bottom line is you should be starting with the downstream structure first and working uphill.
But the reason we started uphill was Thompson Hill and Pine, we've almost lost those bridges twice. They've actually overtopped and we lost half the road.
Oh,
The other ones
Right.
have not been in danger. They just backed
I
up.
have pictures of it. But the thing is, if you don't look at the one on Mock,
The next one.
the
yeah.
problem is you're not looking at just a road, you're looking at property damage.
We understand.
Yep, downhill.
Which, I mean, it's not.
You know,
No,
it's
and
not my property, but
But you're gonna lose the road is what's gonna happen.
it's gonna flood the people down the hill.
And Kim, if you could work on a proposal to design that culvert, we'd love to have that. So
Or
that
do
we
the
could,
study,
I think the study should.
do the study,
the study and then a proposal to design the new culvert.
right?
Yeah, no, I'd be happy to write up proposals for you.
Thank you.
So priority in terms of wetland hearing timeline, if it takes about a month to get that study done, that still puts us on schedule. We could still continue the public hearing until December and then hopefully end it in December. That's about a month away. So if that's the decision that the commission wants to, make a motion to require something like that.
Savannah, before we make that motion, I know this is not a wetlands concern, but has there been any thought of putting a shoulder on the road? I mean, I know both of these projects get heavy pedestrian use, and for the thought process of 50 years down the road, if a sidewalk wants to be put in or a trail or something to that effect, are we building in even 5 feet of shoulder to allow for that to happen? I think it would just be short-sighted on both these projects to skip on that. And again, not a wetland issue, but
Yeah, I hear the concern. I haven't heard any conversation about it. Mark might be able to speak to that more, but I don't think that's covered under this proposal as it stands.
It's not, we're retaining existing road widths. Correct that? That,
For cost savings.
yeah. So again, not proposing wider roads, but just some reserve space. I know surrounding towns have been doing that a lot lately because it just makes a lot of sense. It's cheaper now than in 20 years.
Yeah, but we don't have to worry about it in 20 years. Ian, I like your thinking, however, as I told the gentleman today, I know it's difficult walking on some of these roads. I don't think the speed's gonna lessen on a lot of them as much as I'm trying to put things in place to do that. So I would recommend people drive to airline trails and the greenways and walk there.
Yeah,
I understand what you're saying. Maybe there's a way we can build off of these things to put a pedestrian walkway on the outside of them. But right now I'm concerned about making sure that the roads are still there after another spring like we had 2 years ago.
just would hate to see a kid walking to school get hit. That's my only point.
I understand that. That's why we pick them all up at their doorstep, but I'm not making short of it. I understand what you're saying. Believe me, I get it. So, it's not my meeting.
I only had one other question too. What kind of construction timeframe are we looking at? Cause I assume you're gonna have to close Thompson Hill.
It's
So
one,
how long is this gonna take, you know what I'm saying, from start to finish? What kind of time frame are you looking at?
sure, notice to proceed for the contractor, so start of close of road would be April 1st, and then they would be finalized by October 31st.
Okay.
It's gonna be quiet.
No more speeders.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So John, what are next steps to move this forward?
Okay,
Continue.
so, do I hear a motion to continue the public hearing? The next, meeting?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, second,
I'll second it.
all in favor?
Aye.
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 Oh, okay, very good. Okay, do we have any administrative reports?
Not for me. I was
Thank
just
you.
thinking, sorry, I was in my head thinking if we need to make a motion to require this study for the flow. For that flow study that we discussed. And to be safe, we can make a motion just to have that on the record.
Motion.
All right. Second on it,
I'll second it.
all in favor, raise your hand.
Aye.
So moved. Okay, very good. There's no administrative reports?
No.
Okay, very good.
Awesome.
So, next thing on the agenda is adjournment. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Okay, second.
Everybody.
Thank you, Ron.
Right, all in favor, raise your hand.
All right.
Aye.
So
Thanks
moved.
all.
Thanks, everybody.
It's nice meeting
Dan.
everybody.
Thank
Thank you
you,
very
Kim.
much.